What's going on? Brian here from Club Stadia. I hope you are all having a great start to your week. If you happen to be quarantined at home, continue to just blow past me in the Division 2 because I've been slowly trying to catch up to everybody. I don't think it's going to work out for me because, I still have to go to work, but here we are. I want to give a quick update of some things that happened over the weekend. It's kind of been a little less and less of these lately just because the last few weeks I was on midnight, so doing these kind of updates was a little more challenging. A lot had to do with the news happened to happen while I was sleeping, and it didn't really give me much time to sit on it, digest it, and kind of come up with a video idea. And I know this kind of is less scripted. Obviously, I'm just kind of looking at my camera and just talking and having this awesome green screen background happening. But the thing is, a couple things happened that I kind of want to go over because there's already some, anti-Stadia sentiment regarding it. So let's just start off with the positive stuff immediately out the door, because we got some information about new games coming to the platform, and I wanted to kind of go over these because it's worth going over them for reasons, because it's just new games we're getting finally. And we're gonna start off with Gunsport. And we talked about this during the Stadia Initiative. By the way, cheap plug. If you have not checked out the Stadia Initiative podcast episode 0, you can do so by clicking the top right now, and you can kind of get an idea of what that might be all about. We're planning to do it every 2 weeks at the moment. It's large scale in terms of how many people are there, so we don't want to kind of oversaturate it, especially because there's already too many podcasts out there for you to catch up on. So we want to make it a lot more digestible in that aspect. We did talk about the 2 games coming, and I wanted specifically to talk about Gunsport again, and I'll play this in the background as I talk. I'm not going to actually play the sound here, but it is a volleyball type game, as the creators put it, and I said it's an amalgamation of SteamWorld Heist and something else I just couldn't come up with, and I figured it out. It's SteamWorld Heist and IDARB. Now, IDARB is a 2D... sport's probably not the right way to put it, but it kind of is. It's kind of like a soccer game almost. But the point is you're trying to get a ball into a goal, and this kind of does that same thing, but it adds shooting to it, which is kind of like SteamWorld Heist, the way the shooting mechanics work within that game. So I thought it was a cool game idea that's coming out. This is a game I can absolutely see being a pro game come May. It's a first on Stadia title. We do not have a... Was this the first on Stadia title? Yes, this is the first on Stadia title, which is coming to us. We're not sure just yet. Usually when you have a first on Stadia title, it means Google paid them a little extra money to get that exclusivity right off the bat. And if we're kind of used to what we have been over the last couple months, we can probably expect this as a pro game. And I'm alright with that because this is a game I'm very interested in and want to play for sure. Now, it's a 2v2 game, so it's a little co-op action, which both of these games happen to be. And a lot of people seem to be on the fence one way or the other because it's another indie game, and certain indie games like this are niche titles, so I don't blame people if they aren't interested in something like this. I am, so I'm pretty excited for that. Something to mention though is Necrosoft Games is the developer and publisher behind the game, and they mentioned in a tweet, and I might relay that with me talking about it, that without Google this game doesn't happen, and we have heard that already. Stacks on Stacks was another one. Get Packed, I don't think was one, but it's not the first time we've heard that Google has been a reason why a game has come to life. Orcs Must Die, that was it. And Necrosoft said, well, this game was kind of in limbo, and we had planned on putting another game out there first, but Google was like, hey, we want this game. So I'm assuming this is going to be a pro game coming in the future. Next up was Just Shapes and Beats. And I'm a rhythm game kind of guy, so this kind of game immediately drew me in. The thing is, and I know Tommy at Stadia Arcadia mentioned this in the Stadia Source Roundtable yesterday, and I mentioned this on the Stadia Initiative as well, that this game looks hella fun, but I have no idea what the hell's going on. I really don't. I mean, as you kind of watch it here in the background, you probably think the same thing, like, what is truly the point of this? Because the way it kind of shows up, and I'm kind of watching it as I'm talking about it, it just... I'm not sure of the strategies here, I don't know what they're going after. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. It looks like a lot of fun. Again, it's not a game I don't think I'll pay for, unless it's like one of those $5 games, which I can see it's probably being more of a $10 game if it's not a pro game. But we shall see. 40 tracks coming like in the EDM style of music. So if you're not a fan of dance music, then it's probably not going to appeal to you in terms of audio. If that makes sense, but it should be a fun little quick game. It's another co-op game, so those are 2 games we just got announced, and I assume we'll get those sooner than later as well. And that wraps it up for the 2 games we're getting from Stadia in the near future. Now here's the thing that was kind of mentioned as a negative to some people on the outside, if you will. So YouTube Premium members are getting free Stadia Pro trials. Now, as far as I'm aware, if you are a premium member of YouTube, which I am, and it happens to be linked to your Stadia account, you're probably not going to get this because it wouldn't make sense for Google to kind of like cut the legs out underneath their own subscriptions. Now, if I'm be a premium member, and I've heard this might be starting in the UK first, I'm not sure if it's happening in the States just yet, which I'm not particularly sure on why that is, but once again, the rhetoric, the narrative people are choosing to go with is that Google is giving Stadia away because Google is having problems getting Stadia numbers up. And my very first question I would have for someone that may say something like that is, okay, show me those numbers. I would love to see them. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that Stadia's numbers are just whoo. Because if you're going to keep going to the Charlemagne website about Destiny numbers, do better than that. I mean, because, and I've said this yesterday in my live, not yesterday, a couple days ago in my live stream when I was playing Division 2, is that no single game on any single platform is going to be your good judge of how many people are playing on said platform. Now, I don't care what game it is. It could be Fortnite, it could be Call of Duty Warzone, it can be Madden, it could be FIFA. It doesn't matter. No one game is representing the entire player base, ever. Never, ever, ever does it do that. And the only reason why Destiny 2 was used as that is because it was the only multiplayer game. I mean, it wasn't the only multiplayer game because Samurai Showdown is a multiplayer game, but it was the only online game that was going to have a broad appeal to many, many more people than something like Samurai Showdown. And it's a way that those stats can actually be configured. So that is where that initially came from. So this is not a I'm tapping out moment from Google. This is just like any other trial for any other service that you see out there, because anytime a online service happens, you're going to have a trial period because you need to find out if it's for you and if it works for you, because you're not going to expect people to say, you know, I'm going to spend $60 on Doom Eternal and see if that just happens to work for me when Stadia Base comes out. No, you want the ability to give these, you know, these doubters a chance to try it, because it is a unique service. It's not going to work for everyone, and Google realizes that, and I realize that. Like, not everyone's internet infrastructure is up to task. Maybe they don't have the right setup, maybe they can't afford the right setup, or maybe it's just not what they want to do. I get it. Sure, it's not for everybody, but there are people that are kind of on the fence and are like, I want to try it, but I don't want to spend $130. I don't want to buy a full price game to try it out. That's okay. This is good because this allows people to try out Stadia without having to actually put anything down towards it. Immediately off the bat, you'll be able to play it on your PC. Now, if you want to throw it onto your Chromecast Ultra that you might have at home, you're going to need to pick up a Stadia controller. So this is another good way for Google to kind of parlay this trial into more hardware sales when it comes to their controller side. That's, of course, if it works for those people. And I hope if you are new to Stadia and you're watching me right now tell you about this, definitely get in touch with me at Club Stadia TV on Twitter if you're having issues on the PC side of things playing Google Stadia, because there may be a setting or two you may have to tweak. Yes. The immediate one would be hardware acceleration in the Google Chrome settings. That would be the first thing to check out if you're having some kind of stuttering issues. Other than that, you want to make sure that if at all possible, you are hardwired or you're on a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi band. But this is good news because this allows more people to try out the service without having to spend additional money towards it. Because, as I've said, you know, $130 is kind of too much to try out something that may not work for you, and I get that. And of course, Google was kind of pumping this up as a free service. You don't have to pay money. You don't have to throw $130. You don't have to buy all this hardware because you already own the hardware. You already own controllers. You already own a PC. You already own an Android phone. You already own a tablet. Like, you already have all these things. So I mean, the ability to give them the ability to try it out, and for 3 months at that. So you're going to get, I think, 8 games off the bat right now, and you're going to the ability to have, at the very least, probably 6 more games on top of that to add to your library. Like right now, I believe nearly 35% of the library, if you start day one, has been given to you for free. Like like the amount of games that Google has just given to you is amazing. And that's not them tapping out, that's them, you know, providing a service for what they're doing. They're trying to be competitive in a space that they need to get moving on, because here's something with the whole situation going on in the world. They have a chance to be very at the front of everything, because the way things are right now, we don't know when these next gen consoles are coming out. And yes, it could be a thing of and they're not going to have any delay problems. But just remember that all these things are being manufactured across the seas, and that may have an issue on things. And of course, we may look at import issues here in the States and other countries. So who knows, maybe something like Google Stadia will be the answer for people when it comes to next gen, especially if those consoles do happen to get delayed. And this is a good time for people to have that opportunity to try it out. At the same time, we talk about if this is the right time for base to come out and the pro tiers to come out because of what's going on in the world, that more people are home. And we've talked about the backlash they could get if they happen to say, hey, everyone go try out Stadia now, and just completely just destroy the internet infrastructure. That's not a good look, and that's not a hill they can climb up again, because people do remember those kinds of things. But the thing I thought was interesting, especially about that article when it came to YouTube Premium members getting free trials, is over on certain Twitter channels that you see people posting information about it. More people are asking for codes than, you know, being apathetic towards Stadia, which I thought was really cool. Yes, there's all the naysayers of, oh, Stadia's still a thing, oh, it's dead, DOA, blah, blah, blah. But there's more people are asking for codes. I don't know about you, but that shows to me that people are interested in at least trying the service out. On the subreddit, a lot of people are asking for codes. So, I mean, people are interested in the service. They just need to know it works for them, because if you have the ability to have no downloads, immediate access, no updates, and all these day and date releases that can happen over the time, like, there's a very good appeal to all this. And me personally, I love the platform. Unfortunately, I just don't have a lot of time right now to dedicate to gaming as much as I'd like to, but at the same time, this has been a very good value to my dollar. I paid $130 for the Founders Edition. I paid an extra to get another controller and a Chromecast Ultra in 2 different rooms. So yes, I've invested a decent, I wouldn't say a decent amount of money, but more money than you have to. But that's because I'm just being superfluous and I want to have it in different rooms. I'm just being lazy. But the value to the dollar when it came to the 130 Founders Edition, I've saved so much through sales, and the amount of games they've been throwing at me. I've only had one game since the release of Stadia that I've bought beforehand when it came to the full release of pro games, and that happened to be Spitlings, which just came out, and I bought that game. They sent a review copy to me after that, and I was like, I just bought it. I mean, do you want this code back, or do you mind if I give it away? And they're like, yeah, it's yours, go ahead, give it away. So I was like, all right, cool, awesome. So I've only had one time where I've already had a game beforehand, but I've been lucky, but not many other people, and I get it if you haven't. But the point is, the value to dollar is there, and all these games are coming, and the low cost of $9.99 a month is, it's an awesome deal, and hopefully that becomes much more available to a whole lot more people very soon. And with the whole global situation, it may have been pushed back. It may have came out already, but you know, they didn't want to kind of screw with things from a marketing standpoint. I get that, but let me know your thoughts down below. Were you excited for the games that were announced? Do you have any opinions on the whole 3 months for free when it came to premium members? Are you new to Stadia, and does this interest you at all? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. It does help us out. And get subscribed. I didn't mention any of this at the beginning because I was just jumping right in. Get subscribed for your latest up-to-date information on Google Stadia from me. And stay tuned. Right now, April 17th is going to be the next episode of the Stadia Initiative. That's going to be in the evening here in the States and Canada. So it'll be a much more... unfortunately, our friends across the pond will have to stay up late if they want to watch it. Otherwise, it'll be you know, available on demand. And I'm also working on making it available on podcast channels, because I did a poll on Twitter and you guys were interested in it that way. So I get, if you don't have time to join us live, you may want to watch it or listen to it on the road. So that works out for you. In the meantime, I want to thank you as always, and party on.